Pierre, when we talk about Apple, when we talk about what we saw, I guess, with Meta yesterday and some of the other big tech companies, we're still talking about juggernauts overall, with maybe the exception of Meta. The idea that they are still relatively cash flow positive, the idea that they still have some degree of growth, but clearly a slowdown, a material slowdown from what we had expected from these companies over the last decade or so.
Yes, absolutely. Apple is in an impressive health at the moment. And when you take a step back and think about it, we went into the COVID lockdowns. That funneled a lot of money into consumer electronics, especially with affluent consumers. So you see all higher end consumer electronics did very well, and the iPhone was the first one to do extremely well. At the same time, Apple had this opportunity to really take out Huawei from China. In the high end of the market. Huawei was the only competitor in the high end of the market in China, and Apple got the opportunity to take them out. And so all that basically brings Apple today to a very, very strong point where they continue to benefit from this very high purchasing power amongst affluent consumers. They've been able to increase the average selling price of iPhones. iPhone volumes are in the 230 million in really their all-time highs. And so from this point today, Apple is able to display all its strengths, but also you have to wonder as an investor, aren't we peaking on these drivers? Are we, as we get into next year, the economic slowdown is likely to broaden, and affluent consumers might range on buying expensive phones and expensive laptops, and that's the reason why the market is so hesitant on the name.
Pierre, from your research, the modeling that you do, the analyzation of the fundamentals of this company, are we closing in on those peak numbers, and what is the future growth opportunity for this company?
Yeah, this is a great question. If you think about the growth opportunity for Apple, you first want to think about how much are Apple users growing? And that, I would say, it's a low single-digit number. It's already 1 billion Apple users. It can't grow very, very fast. And then after that, you have to think about how much can these people increase the average amount of money they spend on Apple every year. And of course, Apple is doing a great job at that. They're increasing the price of their phones because they have very little competition, a very high level of differentiation. They're increasing and trading up, bringing consumers to the higher end of their range on almost all products. They are bringing additional products to their clients, and then they're developing this recurring revenue stream through the App Store and all the services they're bringing together. Yeah. And so the question you have to ask is how much people can spend more on Apple on a sustainable basis. And our answer to that is, as we are talking affluent consumers, people who are on the right side of an inflationary environment, so inflation benefits them because they see their income increasing. We think mid to high single digits is probably reasonable. So Apple still can grow maybe 10% on a secular basis. The real problem is, can they grow that much from today's level? Because we know they are at a peak. And so our view is the next 2-3 years, probably growth is very limited because we have to normalize back. Yeah. But beyond that, Apple still has a very decent compounding power.